Who has the best offense in the NFL? That's the question on today's show, where I'm going to dive into the 10 best NFL offenses. You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports, and I'm Mitchell Renz. If you don't like my list, y'all know where to find me. Let's get into it. So at number 10, I have the Tennessee Titans, a team that really proved a lot, especially down the stretch of last season and in the playoffs. I like what Ryan Tannehill was able to do for this football team in the 10 games that he started, especially when he had to take over for Mariota, and kind of how he just rallied the troops. But he's not the reason why they're in my top 10. I think he did a phenomenal job. The real reason why they are in my top 10 is because of this guy, Derrick Henry, one of the best running backs in the entire NFL. In fact, led the league in rushing last year with over 1,540 yards. He proved to be a man amongst boys in the playoffs, and he's going to keep it rolling here in 2020. Let's also look at their wide receivers, because I think in terms of depth, I like Corey Davis, I like A.J. Brown. They added Adam Humphries. Maybe Ryan Tannehill with the whole offseason can get a little bit more out of these players. Let's also look, though, at their offensive line, because I think last season they did have one of the best offensive lines. They did lose a big piece there in Conklin. How can these guys kind of rally together and continue to pound the football? Because that's how Tennessee, that's how the Titans are going to continue to win football games. At number 9 here are my best offenses in 2020. I have the Green Bay Packers, led by quarterback Aaron Rodgers, led by running back Aaron Jones. And when you look at how this offense works, the reason why I couldn't put them up any higher is because a lot of the moves that they made in the draft, they didn't really help for this year. They kind of built for the future. Now, if you could add another wide receiver to Davante Adams, I would say it'd be one of the best duos in the NFL. But the issue is Davante Adams is great. Aaron Jones is great. Aaron Rodgers is great. They have a big three, and you don't really have much else besides that. Now, they've been able to win a lot of football games with that recipe, but for me, I wanted to be able to put the Packers a little bit higher up. I just couldn't put, I guess you could say I just didn't have the marbles to do it. I'll be honest with you. Didn't have the marbles to do it. So we hear you guys, all right? Like, we get asked all the time, hey, can you make a channel for my favorite NFL team? Well, how about this? I'm going to put the ball in your court. You need to go out and make it happen. We just launched a Seahawks channel, but that wasn't the only channel that we have. We have a Dallas Cowboys channel with 62,000 subscribers, a Raiders channel, a 49ers channel, an Eagles channel. And as you can see, when we commit to a channel, we make it happen. So you can decide the next channel we do. Here's how you do it. You can see the link below, chatsports.com/teamtv. Guess what? I'm going to put that in the description. All you have to do to go subscribe to your favorite team channel is click that link, okay? So 100 subs equals a video for your team. Tell a friend, check the description for the links, but subscribe to your team, okay? Make it happen. We can make more channels here, and we can make one around your favorite team. Let's continue the show here of my top 10 NFL offenses. At number 8, this is one of my favorite teams here this upcoming season. It's the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm really excited to see what Kyler Murray is going to be able to do in year 2. I'm excited to see what this offense is going to look like. Now, as a rookie, you're going to take your lumps, and that's kind of what happened a little bit with Murray. But he did start to play a little bit better at the end of the season, and he's got some new weapons this year. Plus, they got rid of David Johnson, which I think we could all agree is going to help out this offense a lot. They're going to commit a little bit more to Kenyon Drake, who, when he did play with the Cardinals, he actually looked pretty good. But the real reason why these guys are in my top 8 is because of this receiver core here. You add DeAndre Hopkins in a steal of a trade. Larry Fitzgerald still getting it done, one of the greatest to ever do it. And for a team to have Christian Kirk as your wide receiver 3, also, I love me some Andy Isabella. I mean, that's 4 very, very solid receivers in an offense that is going to spread you out with a very mobile quarterback in Kyler Murray. Now, Kyler Murray was the number 1 overall pick last year. The number 1 overall pick this year was Joe Burrow. And if you want a Joe Burrow jersey or any NFL rookie jersey, you can go to chatsports.com/jersey deal. Plus, Father's Day. It is right around the corner. Get your dad something nice. My dad personally has 1 NFL jersey, and I think I'm going to get him 2. So it'll be in the description. It'll be in the comments. Tom Brady, we know he's a dad. We probably should have got a Phillip Rivers jersey just because, I mean, he's the dad of all dads when it comes to the NFL. But go to chatsports.com/jersey deal. Get your dad something nice. And also, yes, they are under 100. Some of them are under $80. All right, we'll keep the show moving here. Those are my top 3 teams, or 10, 9, 8, which means math. At number 7, the San Francisco 49ers. And when I look at what the 49ers were able to do last year, they actually surprised a lot of people. not just on defense, but especially on offense as well. The reason why I couldn't put them up any higher is because they lost Emmanuel Sanders, and there are still some question marks around Jimmy Garoppolo. But when you look at Kyle Shanahan, when you look at this offense, I would make the argument they have maybe the best running back core in the entire league with Raheem Mostert, with Tevin Coleman. And if McKinnon can stay healthy, I know it's a big if, you're going to be able to see a very dynamic running back by committee that's going to be very difficult to stop. The number 6 team here on my list, it is the Cleveland Browns. And shout out to producer Harrison. He was like, we're really going to put the Browns at number 6? When I look at the team on paper, they should be a top 10 NFL offense. But the Browns are the prime example to me that NFL is a team sport. And if you don't play together as a team, it's not going to happen. But it really, I think, does rely on the shoulders of Baker Mayfield, who in 2018, in his rookie year, played great. And then as you can see, the regression really kind of smacked him in the face a little bit in 2019. Entering year 3, I think this is a year where you see a lot of quarterbacks take that next step. And I think Baker Mayfield, with his supporting cast, is going to be able to do it. But it doesn't just stop with Baker. Also, Nick Chubb. If you watch my running back ranking video, Nick Chubb, top 6 running back in my opinion. Almost 1,500 yards last year, but oh yeah. They also have Kareem Hunt, and they're going to have him for a full 16-game season. Let's go to the wide receivers, though, also, because you have Odell Beckham, you have Jarvis Landry, who one of the best wide receiver duos in the entire league. There is no reason why this Browns team shouldn't be able to move the football. And, oh, yeah, you also go out and add Austin Hooper in free agency. You sign him to a 3-year, $42 million contract, now the highest-paid tight end in the league. They have the pieces. They have the weapons. Cleveland, you got to get it done, all right? I'm sick and tired of talking about the Browns, how they should be good. I think your fan base deserves to have a good year this upcoming season. Time to get into my top 5 NFL offenses now. I got the Buccaneers here, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski. It's going to look a lot different in Tampa. I mean, I think it's fun to finally say, I have a lot of family members in Tampa. They're excited that they're finally going to be able to hopefully watch some good football. Now, the Buccaneers last season put up a lot of points. They put up a lot of yards. You also had a quarterback, though, that threw for 30 interceptions and turned the football over a ton. But the way that the way that the Buccaneers are going to win football games, I think it's going to be through the air. And how good can Tom Brady be at age 43? Because, yes, he's turning age 43 in August. Last season, he saw a little bit of a decline. And the running back game, not all too strong. I'm not really confident in Ronald Jones. But when you have Chris Godwin, when you have Mike Evans, I mean, good luck, because this is the best wide receiver duo in the entire league. And in fact, I think Mike Evans is a top 6, 7 receiver. Chris Godwin, a top 10 receiver. But it doesn't just stop there. You also have Rob Gronkowski, who comes out of retirement. You have O.J. Howard, who I would say is the most underrated tight end in the entire league. And then Cameron Brate, a red zone option. Tom Brady's going to have options to pick from. It's almost going to be, how can a defensive coordinator really slow them down? So I started the show off with a question. Who's the best offense in the NFL? Maybe we'll make a show the worst offenses in the NFL, but I need to see y'all in the comments section arguing about it, because for me, those are the shows I like to do. I like to do shows where people are going to argue about what we have to say. So, who is the worst offense in the NFL? The Dallas Cowboys, they're next up here on my list, and I think after the Buccaneers, there is a little bit of a tear break, because I think the Cowboys do have a very good offense. I just think their defense is a little bit lacking. But Dak Prescott, we talk a lot about Dak, and I know I throw a lot of, at times, hate near Dak, but he is a good quarterback, and he is coming off a career year. A year where he threw for 30 touchdowns. A year where he had almost 5,000 yards. Now you also have Ezekiel Elliott, plus now you have not just Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper. You also add CeeDee Lamb, who I think was maybe the steal of the first round of the draft. An absolutely incredible wide receiver trio, a great running game. Yes, the offensive line is going to hurt a little bit with the loss of Travis Frederick, but the Dallas Cowboys, they're a top 4 offense. The New Orleans Saints, they're next up here on my list of top offenses, and I really want to see this Saints team be able to succeed, and I really want to see this team be able to move the football, and it is all on the shoulders of quarterback Drew Brees, who I will still make the argument is an elite quarterback. When you go back and look at the last 3 seasons, I don't say PFF is the greatest thing ever, but he's been a top 2 quarterback according to PFF the last 3 years. You also have Alvin Kamara, who's one of the most dynamic running backs in the entire league in the ability to run between the tackles, catch the football. Michael Thomas set the NFL record last year, 149 catches, 1,725 yards. Plus then, what do you add to your offense? Another option outside Michael Thomas, and I think Emmanuel Sanders is really going to be able to fit very, very nicely in that offense. Time to get into my top two, and it's probably not too big of a surprise, the top two teams, but I am curious on who you guys think, the Ravens or, the team you'll see up next. I do expect a little bit of a regression from this Baltimore Ravens offense just because I love Lamar Jackson, but I can't imagine he does exactly what he did last season. I mean, it is so hard to replicate, right? I mean, for a quarterback to not even throw 3,500 yards but hit 36 touchdowns, that's difficult. For you to break the NFL rushing record as a quarterback, again, not very easy. I mean, he is the second quarterback in NFL history to run over 1,000 yards. The only other player to do it is Michael Vick. I think Jackson is incredible, but I do expect just a little bit of regression. Now, they are going to run the football a lot, right? I mean, there's no doubt. That's how this team wins football games. And I love me some Mark Ingram. I actually think Gus Edwards, the Gus Bus, is a fun running back 3. But one of my favorite draft picks in the second round was J.K. Dobbins, running back out of Ohio State, which is going to make a very, very dynamic running back core here for Baltimore. Let's now go to the wide receivers, where Willie Snead's not the sexy name, Miles Boykin not the sexy name, but you got Marquise Hollywood Brown. What does he bring? Speed. And anytime you can open up, I think that's really going to help this offense move. But the main option, I think, for Lamar Jackson, it's Mark Andrews, and I think Mark Andrews is one of the best tight ends in the entire league, and he proved that last year being a very solid red zone option. When you put all these pieces together, they got a good team, they had a good draft, but if Lamar Jackson continues to play the way he does, I don't see him being stopped. That's why they're number 2 here on my list. At number 1, the best offense in the entire league, it is the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champs, and I understand they only scored 400 points last year, and some people might point the finger at that, but it's also because Patrick Mahomes dealt with some injuries last season. I think that he is a human cheat code, and we have a lot of debates here in the office, like would you give up 7 first-round picks? Would you give up 8 first-round picks for Mahomes? Honestly, no, I wouldn't, because he is the best player in the league, and he's something that we just have, in my opinion, have never seen before at the quarterback position. Now, you also went out and drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire in round 1, who I think could make the argument as the best pass-catching running back out of all the rookies, which is obviously a huge role to play here for Kansas City. You also had Damian Williams, who absolutely showed out, should have won the Super Bowl MVP. I don't care what anyone says. But the reason why, not just because Mahomes, that this team moves the football in bunches, you have dynamic wide receivers with speed for days. And Tyreek Hill, maybe the fastest player in the league. Sammy Watkins, one of the best wide receiver 2s in the league. And McCole Hardman, entering year 2, it wouldn't surprise me if he actually jumped Watkins and to be that number 2 for Kansas City. And then also, you got Travis Kelce, who is one of the most athletic tight ends in the league. And for you fantasy football fans out there, I mean, you're looking at the guy who's been the number 1 tight end for 3 straight years. He puts up numbers. They can beat you in a bunch of different ways. And they also have, I'll say, a pretty decent offensive line where you really kind of have to protect Mahomes. You don't really need to run the football when you have the offense that they do. But the reason why that I put the Chiefs at number 1, when these guys are moving, nobody stops. And go ask the Houston Texans dropping 50 straight points on them in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl where they put up 21 in a snap of a finger. When this Chiefs team gets hot, nobody slows them down. That's why they're the number 1 offense here on my list. If you don't like my list, I said it earlier, you can hit me up on Instagram at MitchellRenz365. Or if you do, hey, I'm always in my DMs. I'm always seeing what y'all have to say. I appreciate everyone that subscribes to our channel. So we'll run through the top 10 offenses real quick here. I got the Titans, the Packers, Cardinals, 49ers, and Browns. And then my top 5 offenses entering the 2020 season. Tom Brady, the Buccaneers, Dallas Cowboys, New Orleans Saints, and rounding it out my top 2, the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs.